Dragi prijatelji, prisrčno pozdravljeni v imenu Družinskega gledališča Kolenc. Družinsko gledališče Kolenc je namreč nosilec projekta, ki se imenuje Vranov let v svobodo, odvija pa se v zaključni fazi na Geosu.
Dear friends, first of all, we would like to express warm greetings on behalf of the Family Theatre Kolenc, which is the organizer of the project International Friendship Day in Alliance at Geos, called Crow's Flight to Freedom.
Would you translate?
Oh, I think they understand.
You understand? Okay, great.
Smisel in cilj našega druženja je prijateljstvo in sočutje, ki ne presega vse umetne meje, ki smo si jih postavili ljudje. Delamo stvari, ki jih je težko razumeti in težko čutiti in tudi težko opisati. Da je temu res tako, smo se prepričali, ko smo iskali svoje partnerje. Res težko smo jih našli.
The meaning and goal of our project is to become friends and to socialize in compassion that transcends all artificial boundaries that people have set between themselves. We are doing actions that are difficult to explain and sense. That is why have we found out when we were looking for our project partners. It was very difficult to find them, actually.
Verjamemo, da za trajnostno naravnanost življenja na našem planetu delamo nekaj dobrega in velikega. Verjamemo, da bo takšno tudi naše sodelovanje, ki se ga v Družinskem gledališču Kolenc čez vse veselimo. Hvala, ker ste nas sprejeli in komaj čakamo, da vzpostavimo še tesnejše povezave z vsemi skupaj. Najlepša hvala.
So, therefore we believe that together we are doing something good and big for the sustainability of life on our planet. We believe that this describes our cooperation, which we as Family Theatre Kolenc heartily rejoice. Thank you for accepting us, and I can't wait that we get acquainted and befriended. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all presentation and nice speeches. My name is Michal Novak. I will tell more about the Crow's Flight, what actually it is. I have a question. Why are you so far?
Yes.
Here you are.
It's a huge space between us, man.
Are you afraid?
We don't bite.
Yeah, we don't bite. We want to die. It's a nice thing that you can fast because you're the best, so you can get the best seats in front, like in a theater. Oh, the camera is in front. Okay.
Okay, the other side.
For the beginning,
Yes.
The Crow's Flight is a true story from the Second World War and talks about how a prisoner Allied soldier escaped. During the occupation from Nazi Germany, they built a Stalags, you know, the camps, the concentration camps and working camps and so on. And in all fronts, when they captured the Allied soldiers, they were put in a Stalag working camp near Maribor. Maribor is the second largest city in Slovenia. And they were working highways and then the railways. And near Maribor is a small town called Ožbalt, where they were working a railway. At the beginning, the two main actors from this story are Ralph Churches and Laszlo. And they were trying to escape at the beginning where they were captured, but this was very difficult. Because if someone were thinking or talking about escape, he would go to some other camp. And for example, the strategy of Ralph Churches was so. Ralph Churches, his strategy was first to learn German language and then also Slovenian language so he could communicate. This is a very smart decision. And this took for about 2 years. He met Laszlo, and there was a group, about 7 of soldiers that were planning how to do that. This is here. You see Maribor, and over here is Ožbalt. They make a connection with the partisans that were fighting at that time against the Germans. And what the partisans did, they signaled them when they can escape. Because at that time partisans attacked the very important strategic point for Germany, St. Lawrence. And this attack is known because no one was killed. They signaled them that they could escape, so they would help. So they escaped. And that attack, also what is amazing, what happened, no one was killed. They imprisoned back the whole armed German forces, and then they released them. So now they have to go to the freedom. Where to go? If they go to the north, it's Austria, Germany, his history, and all to the Spain, or to the south, to the Greece, is very far. Over here was a liberated area, but also infrastructure. So they had to make on foot the 250 kilometers long. The Germans had all the posts all around, so they had to move through forest, not to go on the road, and so on. And during that, they need to sleep somewhere, to get food, clothes. And what is all amazing about the cross flight, and what is also our motivation to promote this story and to tell this story, is imagine that during the Second World War, you are a farmer. When partisans came, or Germans, they say, give me a food or they will take it. Now imagine, more than 100 people came from New Zealand, Australia, Britain, and so on. They give them food and to sleep. There is no documentation or no information that there would be any fight or anything. This was all done by friendship, to like an altruistic act to the humans that you don't know, that are from the completely other point of the world. And this was taken all the way. And the hardest point that they took was here, where is the Save River, because the Germans were controlling all the bridges. And they made a stop over here to rest for 1 day. And it's coincidence that this point also here is a geometrical center of Slovenia. It's Gels. About that more later, but also here will be the last event in September, and about that you will know more about that. So the story is connected with the Gels and also with the family theater. At that time, they had to cross the Save River. This is Laszlo and Ralph Churches, where they were in the army. This is the point where they had to cross it. At that time was usual that farmers were passing the horses, because the horses were taken, that there's a small number of the horses for cultivating the farms, the land. And this was done during the night. And this was making a lot of noise. So when all inhabitants near Litia or near Hotič and where the geometrical center is, they organized themselves and they had to prepare how they will put more than 100 people through the river. So they informed the German forces and they tell during that night we will passing the horses from the river. So they do that, the horse making a lot of noise and so on. And when they pass the horses from the river, they put 2 boats and pass more than 100 people, fugitives. So the Germans didn't notice them. Then came to the Semic, where was the amateur airport, and the British plane came there. There were 5 planes, and put them into place, and then they went to the Bari that was already liberated, and from Bari they came all to the home, alive, happy. This is amazing that they told that. There are a lot of small stories that are also very interesting. Imagine you came from long walk to the plane, there's a 5 plane, you came to the Bari, the last plane is missing because the engine broke down. So they had to send a mechanic to drop down on the parachute to repair the last plane, so the last plane came to the Bari one day later. This is the photo, almost only one that was taken by Srečko Prijatelj, the photograph at the last point of the old walk. So we can see here Rav churches, at the beginning is Laszlo, and all the other groups. So Rav churches, as you see here in the photo, and also this picture, this is here in the year 2005, didn't spoke about this story for about 50-60 years. Because when they came to the Bari, they had to sign that they would be silenced about this action. So this action were not written or it's not common known in all history books. So in the family, when he was quite older, in the 80s, told him that he had to write this story. And this story also found CBS Sydney, the television, together with the BBC in London, that they will make a documentary film. And the first documentary film was made in 1985, and at that time he wrote the book. So we know that story, and also he explained in the book why this happened, and he didn't know. So there is no recognition from all parts of the history about this story, and also in Slovenia this story is not common known. It's like now it's happening to reinvent story. This is the headline. It's Crow's Flight to Freedom. And here is the old map that they did. As you see, there is a little bit ambush. There is no treasoning. They were just seen at one point, and then the Germans make the ambush. They were a little bit fighting, but again, no one was killed with all the bombs. And this is what is amazing. Crossing the Savary River, and here is the airborne to the Bari. So this is the short version of the Crow's Flight. If there's any questions, please ask. No? So that's it, the short story.
Mogoče poveš o pač naravi ljudi, kako so jih pomagali, da je v bistvu to presežek te zgodbe.
Yeah. The Crow's Flight has like 2 periods. One is this escape, and also the second, what happened all after the Second World War. The people that get known together, they were connecting through the letters. And for example, when they had to escape, there's near the Oshbald, at the beginning was one family called Zavodnik, and they had 2 children. They were small at that time, 5 or 6, but they stayed connected. So also when the Ralph churches and Laszlo came back at that time to Yugoslavia, they had a meeting, so they met each other for more than 30 years, where the childs were earlier. And there are a lot of stories, for example, Ralph churches worked a hat. So that's why he was known so well, it's a symbol of him. And why is the Crow's Flight? The Ralph Churches was named, his nickname was Crows, because he came from Australia, from one region in Adeline, and the Australians say they're on the south, they're all crows. And also, the second interpretation is when they came back to the camp in Semic, where they were taken by the airplane, the British commander that was stated there said, how long was the trip? Ralph Churches said, 100 miles. This is 250 kilometers, and then the commander said, oh, you make like a crow's flight, 250 flights. So that's why it's the crow's flight to the freedom. And this family helped them, just to help to the people. But for me it's amazing that you help someone that you don't know, in the period of war, ideology and so on, with nothing to give return or to know about that. And at that time, if you do that, you risk your life. There are a lot of stories, especially known around Europe and also in Slovenia, that now came the new stories up. There was always some treason, there was always some fight. But there was some misunderstanding at the beginning, because when they liberated the prisoners, they also liberated one group of the French soldiers, and they were whining all the road because they were working at the farm and they had to sleep and they had food and they were happy about that, and they didn't want to walk, but they sent the French. But no one treasoned them or no one attacked, no one was killed. This is not so complete, the perfect story. When there was an ambush, 2 people escaped and they were not found. But they were not killed by the soldiers. Questions?
How many nationalities there was in this? People from, you say, the New Zealand, Australia? New
Zealand, Australia, England, and France. It's possible that there will be some more, but this is that we know. We are making the list of all the prisoners.
Okay.
So,
I don't know if you already said it, but how long did they took to make the whole trip?
14 days.
14 days.
2 weeks.
14 fast. They're right.
Yeah, it was quite. Most important is what happened. Of course, the Germans know about the escape. It's not. We know from the story, for example, from some stories from Auschwitz and so on, that they escaped, but not that the whole camp escaped. They usually escaped one group, and then was revenge and new repression and so on. And I didn't find no story in the whole history of Second World War or in Europe that all camp escaped. And I imagine the Germans that they get in Maribor, where they had the post, they had the information, the whole camp escaped, what to do.
Someone died. Someone died.
So, in all European,
the Germans.
In all the European history, in this context is incredible story and for now unique. I know one story from Indonesia, but this is the other part. And in this context is the unique story, unique history story. And it's amazing.
How did you find this history? Who told you?
Yeah, that will be after the lunch. How I found it.
Okay, we can.
No, I'll tell you how I find it. I know my profession is cultural anthropologist, but and I'm very interested about the history and so on, but not in a complete way. And I thought that I know almost everything about the Second World War that is to know. And then from theater, as actor, I met Anka. She told me that story, and I was, that's amazing. Give me the book, I want to read it. And then I read it, and it's really amazing. Because of course we know from the all anti-Semitism stories and so on, what happened in Poland in the last 5 years. A lot of different stories are coming up that are not politically involved. Usually we have two different interpretations or so on, or talking about some Greekism with the ism on the point, so what is good and what is bad. But now coming the stories, especially about the cross flight, is not talking about politics, but talking about the people. And how people every day reacted, how are they in conflict, how not. And in the story of the cross flight, how they help. Of course, there's a lot of all surrounding. The Germans went down, they were searching them, and there's a lot of information where the Germans were moved, so they could pass them, so they didn't front them. So it was really amazing that all inhabitants were connected in that way, just to help one large group of the soldiers to escape. And in that context, it's incredible that we can do that. And also to share it. It's possible in the Second World War. And this is also the motivation for me, whatever that happens in Europe and in the future, that we don't know what's going to happen, it is possible to prevent another tragedy.
I guess it's a case of a good practice, like how people should act in common life or in hard situations. It's like it's not enough that we remember bad things and say, okay, it's not good that we do this, but also how we should act as people.
Yes.
That's why we want to present this.
Social responsibility, not state control.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So, do you know any similar stories about that?
Not like that.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Some more about cross flight.
Right?
So, some more about cross flight.
You have questions?
Any questions?
Kaj se zdaj mogoče predstavljati kot posamezniki, potem je pa v nadaljevanju na programu, kako smo mi začeli zbrati
Vsi mi, da se predstavljamo.
Vsi, pač kar nas je tukaj.
So, before we take some coffee and snacks, I would like that we all represent ourselves with names and who we are, so we get to know each other. And before more people came, so we can drink some coffee, snacks, and have conversation and to socialize, to become friends. My name is Micha Novak, I'm from Ljubljana, working in family theatre. I'm like idealist that all people could be friends and to help each other nevertheless what happens. That's about me.
We hope so.
L'idea è anche quella di presentarsi ciascuno dei presenti adesso.
Io? Credevo intendesse dire...
C'è anche un predstavnik. Tutti vedremo sliče loro, da.
Vai, allora, prego.
Vai, traduce lui, vai.
Si può tradurre lui, aiuta lui.
So,
A te?
Vsi prevajamo tako. Se še predstavlja, pa še našega mogočega, pa našega. No, ne se še jaz predstavim. Jaz sem Anka Kolenc.
Še sem Anka Kolenc.
Vodja družinskega gledališča Kolenc.
Head of Family Theatre Kolenc.
Razmišljam, da sem prva med enakimi.
She is thinking that she is the first among all the equals.
in our theater.
In our theater.
Not in general.
Would you translate? They understand.
I think.
Okay. Naša glavna dejavnost, najpomembnejša dejavnost je poučevanje s pomočjo gledališča in doživljanja.
Our main activity is to educate with help of art and experience of all activities.
Imamo programe, ki so animacijski od od otroštva, od vrtca do fakultete.
We have programs with animations for the children and all to the university and also for the adults.
Se pravi, naši programi so umetniški in interaktivni.
Our programs are artistic and interactive.
Naša dejavnost se odvija tako, da ni glavno pomnjenje, ampak je najprej doživetje in šele potem pomnjenje.
Our acts are not to remember, but doživetje.
Doživetje in
But
potem.
at the beginning, experience and then to remember.
Toliko na kratko. Najlepša hvala.
That's in the short one. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Elvis Berljak. I'm a member of Family Theatre Kolenc. I'm an actor. I study psychotherapy, and it's nice to be here, to know you all, and we will represent what's the meaning of this story and how we came to represent it, why later. So just enjoy your staying, and let's have a nice time. Laura.
Hi, my name is Lauro. You can call me Lorenzo because it's an Italian version of my name. I also work with Family Theatre Kolenc. I'm the member besides Anka who's been the longest with this theatre. For 10 years now. It's great. I hope that we could bond real friendship and get to know each other better. Okay, thanks.
If some Italian people want to present.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dai, Giuseppe.
That's some. Oh.
Riccardo, di da lui,
We can stay like
I'll try to speak in English.
Okay.
Okay. I'm quite arrugginito. Translator arrugginito.
Rusty.
Yes. Okay. My name is Giuseppe, and we are with Laura and Paola di Regis Cultural Association. E fin qua. I'm an actor, and we work with the school and everywhere. Tells Paola, everywhere. Theatre, principalmente, diciamo, no? Lavoro nei teatri, vabbè. Quaglio perché mi dicono che mi sto allungando troppo. We are very very happy to be here, and we hope in future cooperation with you.
Delle prove, cioè,
Devi dire?
delle prove.
Delle prove? Che sono le prove?
Se
lo suggerisco. E andare via perché ha le prove.
My name is Andrea, and I'm a member of a cultural association, Aslan. The name of association is Aslan. Aslan is a lion of the film and book Narnia. You remember Narnia?
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And this association job in the world of cooperation with other people of Europe. And I hope in this project, and I job in the world of graphic design and photography, and another camp of this work. Okay, thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Gianluigi, short way Gigi, because I know it's hard to pronounce. I'm a member of an association called Il Cherubino. I'm interested in international relations, cooperation, and something like that. That's why I came here, I'm a friend of them, and hope to meet you better in the next hours.
Maurizio, devi raccontare la tua accademia.
La mia accademia?
Sì, tanto te la dico Riccardo.
Vai.
Così loro sono contenti. Noi abbiamo incontrato
allora, ciao a tutti, Maurizio Bavaresco, mi presento.
Aspetta, Riccardo, mettiti accanto e t'alluci. È più figo, dai.
Sei buono, poi non mi sento. Maurizio Bavaresco, mi presento, ho inventato il gruppo Ion Artist, che è un gruppo artistico che si compone di una produzione cinematografica, un'associazione Horus di evoluzione artistica per scopi umanitari, e la terza struttura che dovrebbe essere un'accademia all'interno di un caffè letterario. Dico dovrebbe perché stiamo cercando di farla, anche grazie al caro amico Emanuele Merlino. È una cosa molto complessa che dovrebbe praticamente unire un pochino, fare da ponte tra Stato e sindacati. È un'accademia molto particolare che è collegata a varie strutture, sia associazioni artistiche e sia associazioni di formazione, che dovrebbero, tra virgolette, passare gli studenti in via abbastanza economica a questa struttura che poi si occupa di formarli. Stiamo cercando di farla, nonostante il periodo in Italia non è semplice, visto l'economia che insomma è quella che è in questo momento a terra, soprattutto in Italia, al di là dell'Europa. E non so che altro dire. Cercheremo di metterla su, non è un progetto semplice, però stiamo ottenendo ottimi risultati, le associazioni ci stanno seguendo, anche i sindacati sembrerebbe che sostengono l'iniziativa, quindi speriamo bene e che Dio ce la mandi buona. Grazie.
Allora, ciao a tutti, sono Milan Andrea e il direttore artistico dell'Associazione Romantica. Non so, scusate la voce un po', non so chi conosce l'associazione, è attiva nel territorio della Montagnola. Abbiamo già organizzato un jazz festival estivo e stiamo in procinto di organizzare un altro, per cui vi aspetto e vi rinnoverò l'invito. Grazie.
Vai.
Manco io?
Merlino.
Aspetta.
Ecco.
Pubblicità. Ciao, sono Emanuele.
In inglese?
Sì, ok. In English next year. Mi occupo del Comitato 10 febbraio, parte progettuale, attività culturali. Nella mia vita professionale ovviamente mi occupo di Library of Rome, biblioteca di Roma, teatro, scrivo spettacoli teatrali in teatri, scuole e also in the prison. Okay, and in quest'ultimo periodo ho provato una cosa nuova e ho scritto un fumetto in 20.000 copie, questo qua, e distribuito in tutta Roma gratuitamente con pochissimi partner, e ne ho portato le copie per regalarvele, ovviamente. Bel progetto, ma il progetto più bello è il fatto di essere qui, insomma, quando facciamo eventi culturali cerchiamo di raccontare delle storie che siano educative in qualche modo, no? Per raccontare ai ragazzi l'impegno, essere cittadini veri, italiani ma anche d'Europa, e quindi il progetto con voi per noi è un grandissimo impegno, una grandissima soddisfazione, quindi thank you.
Jaz bi povedala samo to, da sem na začetku pozabila se predstaviti popolnoma po poklicu. Sem profesorica slovenskega jezika in diplomirana etnologinja.
At the beginning I forgot to tell everything about myself. By profession I'm professor of... She's not, maybe. Professor of Slovenian language and ethnologist.
Zato bom pač, ker sem po poklicu slovenistka in ljubiteljica slovenskega jezika, govorila v slovenskem jeziku, da boste imeli priložnost občudovati naš jezik, tako kot jaz občudujem vašega.
That's why I'm Slovenist, profession for Slovenian language. I love Slovenian language, and I will talk in Slovenian language so you could experience the beauty of the language as we all will experience the beauty of Italian language.
Se pa zato iskreno in toplo zahvaljujem vsem prevajalcem. Najlepša hvala, da se bomo vendarle lahko sporazumeli.
Thank you. That's why I'm gratitude to the all translators so we can all communicate together.
Hvala.
Coffee and snacks.
Coffee now. Fermiamo qua.
Dove? Ah, sì, dai.